Welcome everyone to another video, and today we are looking at what if civilization, not what if civilization, I have made a lot of videos on that, what a world lost by peace series, my very own series that I have been developing for so long now, and I've finally covered New Sudan, and now it's time to cover even more of that conflict. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm just gonna do some stuff real quick, and I'm done. So let's get straight into this, and we'll see that the communists, as of always, will make their first move in trying to stop any gains from the imperialists. Just to tell you that these two are kind of the smallest. This is the smallest, and this is kind of the biggest, or this guy. It depends on who you ask. And we also see that the communists managed to take a lot of land in the north, as the northern areas are less defended by what I know. And also they have like the capital. I know the capital is somewhere like around here. And it's around here where they stagger the most, around the capital areas. And around the coastal areas, the coasts are basically already goners. They managed to make a few meaningful gains, but they don't gain too much land before being stopped. And yeah, that kinda, their whole attack means kinda nothing. But for the fascists, they are again winning the war. Over here in Tunisia, they kinda took the north, and the communists took the south. And speaking of the communists, Ethiopia. Yeah, it's kinda supporting communist oppression over here. So, things happen, but we also see a lot of gains right off the bat for the you know who. They will attempt to make it seem like the Sudanese are making the like the Democrats are making the better side of the war over here, but actually they just cut off the forces of Sudan forces. Even though they are their own Sudanese, they call themselves the Empire of North Africa. They are most East African, and they are like that, where I think that they are the Empire of the Red Sea. Yeah, they kinda have an ambition to take over Eritrea, even though they are already taken, and you know stuff. For our good old friends, the guys over here. Wait, let me just do something real quick so they're more noticeable, because they're like too less noticeable, and we see them actually make a very big gain. And that's right off the bat, making it to the communist line. Now the communists weren't expecting this. They weren't even expecting these guys to make it down south. But that's at a cost of nothing. Because they kind of rallied most of the troops that were here. They made militias, and the militias are controlling their state things and launching counteroffensive and using guerrilla tactics, because they were training for that before. And when the war started, they initially had this small front line, but then they kind of bulged out in multiple places and kind of exploded outwards. So yeah, the imperialists are making quite a big gain. This might be our first imperialist nation. Might not. Somebody in the New World, in North America, who's named after the continent of America, really wants their nation to be imperialist, but the people are against it. Happens. But we do see that the redcoats are going to try and take what's possible, and they're also going to fight the Imperials for the land. Not like physically or like shooting guns at each other, but you know what I mean. Like they're gonna try and take the lands before the Imperials can. and the Imperials managed to take a lot of land, but well, yeah. So Imperials are on the rise. They have made a good position over here, and this just causes them to win the north, basically, because they kind of just take over that and nothing else. Also, Libya is sending troops secretly to help out the Imperialists, because they kind of just decided that they want to help the Imperialists. They sympathize with them. The Imperialists do manage to cut off the Reds from the north, which was the Reds' intention to cut the Imperialists out. And we see the Imperialists managed to get to the Libyan border, and it's quickly made sure to propagandize and assimilate a lot of land. The first assimilations begin with a lot of land being like first taken, and then a big chunky piece of land is like from the north declared to be part of the rebellion, and then the central parts occupied start a turn against their original government and support the new government, and it goes a long ways, like it goes a very long ways. And the communists don't do this, which kind of loosens up their manpower advantage. But yeah, for the communists, they kinda are still struggling, as they kinda took a lot of forces off the front over here. So the only gains they have made is like small counter-offensive, counter-attacks or something like that. And we see that for every counter-attack, the fascists gained more land against the communists. And as you can see, eventually the communists had a very narrow window of land, and this just caused them, as soon as they tried to bulge out, to lose the lands to a joint attack by these two, which makes it very mad and tries to invade into the purples. Quick thing about the purples, they are a no bullshit thing, so try to go against them, you lose your lands. So yeah, as you can see, I'm making it a lot wider. Yes, it's like kinda this weird. This actually looks kinda cool. I can make a flag out of this. And we also see the fascists take on opportunity on this, a very big opportunity. Just take up the opportunities, and they're going to invade into the southern communist lands and immediately cut them off, because well, communist logistics are so bad. Not even kidding. Quoted from Fat Electrician. Yes, I watch him. His stories are quite cool that they find out. And for the north, we see that these two kind of split the north, or what's left of it anyway. And there's a small Libyan area that is controlled by the fascists. If you go to who owns what now, this is the gain thing, and this is who has gained what. We see that the communists are being beaten down to a pulp, and we see a lot of their lands already falling over, and just the communists are not having a good time, and neither are their friends down south. And this is just bad for them. They are having such a bad time. But the Imperials are beginning to slow down, and that's because, well, yeah, this happened. So who is going to kinda, yeah. So both of these are split into two groups, and each one wants land. Now, how much land does each want? Well, they want the lands that they kind of want. And we see the main imperialist forces start to make their push into the fascist lands, while the fascists actually control most of their border areas quite well, and they have a lot of population due to the taking of the capital area, and they kind of just, yeah, they kind of steamroll everything over here. In fact, they don't steamroll anything, they actually destroy everything that they come across. They farms destroyed. They will build their own farms or little towns on top of them. So yeah, towns destroyed, villages destroyed, everything destroyed. But in the south, they are still losing stuff because they are in full retreat. They are like actually in full retreat. They are fully retreating. Yes, and that's because they just definitely did not make a large counter attack over here to cut off the supply lines. Yeah, this was a diversionary attack, and as soon as it was done, it was a success. The fascists managed to beat back the imperialists, and showing that the imperialists still cannot have superior tactics, will manage to push back on forces of the imperialists, eventually cutting them down into small pockets of resistance. Basically, something like this. Basically, well, not this, but yeah, this. This is their first ever like full-on large encirclement and push through. In the north, they managed to cut off another little area. The Libyan border is fully disconnected, and the Libyans are not able to push troops into the lands. So they're forced to use Egypt, but every time they try it, the borders get kind of closed, and, well, yeah, before they can actually negotiate the reopening of them, the areas are lost again. So, yay. Yeah, at this point, it's kinda no one for everyone. And the fascists have managed to destroy what's left of, well, Sudan. Well, the imperialists of Sudan. And eventually these two pockets fall, while the last one kinda just, yeah, falls apart. It slowly starts to diminish in forces until the last battle decides its fate. But we aren't done here yet. As we see the communists over here in Eritrea, yes, Eritrea, get turned against their own people. As some communists are actually fascists in disguise, and due to this, we see large uprisings containing the Eritrean capital, and this is so Sudan can annex the area. But Ethiopia doesn't like this and demands that Sudan leaves, and Sudan's like, what, we have already taken this is basically ours, so what you gonna do now? Technically this is ours. We have invaded it, and it is ours. And this marks the first ever large war for the like the fascists that isn't in like Italy or something. Same over here and everywhere. Basically, it's everywhere that it's kind of the largest. And I think this is it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'm gonna see you guys next time. Bye.